Hello there, everyone, and welcome to today's screencast. And the topic today is going to be writing for social media, and more importantly, writing for the web, really. Like, how do you use all these content management tools that have become so popular and so useful to make really cool content? And that the nice thing about social media and the nice thing about a content-managed website is you can disperse the work amongst your staff and amongst your employees and amongst the doctors at your practice, and yet now the onus is on these people to write well. And so how do you write things that are engaging, and that the things you learn about writing a term paper really don't necessarily apply for writing an interesting article or writing a good headline? So let's take a look at that. And the very first thing we want to talk about is being fun, personal, and engaging. That if you write boring, nobody wants to read it. And in general, err on the side of having fun with it. That it's cooler to read fun stories. It's cooler to read nice stuff like this. The Atlanta Center here talking about Good Luck Miss Georgia, and this idea about looking and feeling better, and that the tone should be engaging and fun. That what's nice about advertising writing is you talk directly to the prospect. It's not like writing a term paper. So the more you're having fun with it, the more you're telling jokes, the more you're looking like really you're trying to present your practice as somewhere with a cool doctor that everyone wants to go see. And if you can get that across in your writing style and just in general enjoy it, it's going to be a much more powerful presentation. The second thing I want you to focus on as you're thinking about, okay, what do I write for my website? What do I write on Facebook? What do I write on Twitter? Is create value. That look to your vendors. Like, this is a nice job by Miami Plastic Surgery of looking to their vendors, the tools that are at the practice, and talking about them through their media channels. That if you have an IPL laser, talk about hair removal, talk about painless skincare, talk about your skincare lines, talk about Botox, talk about your optical shop. Like, try to create value in your core assets. It's a better thing to discuss online than probably any other topic. And really what you're doing is you're sending everyone back to the mothership. That you're talking about what's going on in the practice and what's important to you. So whenever you go in to write something, create value, create a promotion, create an event. This is a funny rule of writing for the web, is that if you want to improve your writing by 200%, get a better photo. Because at the end of the day, not that many people read what you write. And that great photography, a picture really is worth 1,000 words. And if you go to iStockPhoto.com, which is a great stock photo house, it's where really stock photography has evolved to, and you buy, say you're a plastic surgeon, buy 3 great, pretty girls, attractive, like nice people, pictures of the practice. Like, good photography makes your writing better. It makes the page look better. It makes the whole thing a more compelling package. So it's a funny secret of writing is that if you have great photography, it doesn't matter how you write, because really people read headlines and they look at pictures. Like, think about how you interact with a newspaper. You really don't read it upper left corner to lower right all at once. You bounce through it looking for information that applies to you, and you look at pictures and you read headlines. So knowing that, a few great photos can really take your writing not just on your Facebook page, but also on your blog, on your website, to the next level. So always think, what are my digital assets? What are my images I can use? Because it makes your writing so much more compelling. Another interesting reality of writing is that if you use the word you and your in a headline, it immediately becomes better. That fundamentally people are only concerned about themselves. That's true of everyone. That's true of you and I. That once the advertising is spoken in the voice of the prospect, it becomes much more compelling. When we send out emails for webinars, for promotions, whatever we're doing, we track what pulls. And the headlines that say, change your practice, your patients are walking out the door, your radically improves the pull of it, because all of a sudden it's spoken right to the prospect. And that by couching it in those terms, you get a much better result. So generally, if you're looking at a headline, you're thinking, how can I make this better? Let's say you're a dentist, your headline is smile whiten in an hour. A better headline would be whiten your smile in an hour, because you're speaking to the prospect, and that sells harder. Now, the fifth piece of writing better for the web is think about all your content in terms of testimonials and stories. That if I had to sell anything, if I had to sell tractors to farmers, I would want to come into that tractor trade show, and I'd like to speak in the voice of the farmer. I'd like to be in their world, speaking their language, talking about tractors in their voice. You know, if it's a bunch of Southerners, I'd want to have a Southern accent, and I want to come in with testimonials of happy tractor owners and show that to the prospect, that there's no more powerful sales tool than a testimonial or a success story. Very seldom do we even bother to make websites anymore that don't hinge on testimonials. That if you're looking at your Facebook page, if you're looking at your website, and you're thinking, how can I improve the pull of this site? You should tell a story about someone who had a great result. You should find someone with a great result that's your vocal proponent and get them to tell the story. That in general, as you think about your content in terms of success stories, testimonials from people, it becomes much, much stronger, because that's how people buy anything. That if I want to sell websites to doctors, I want to come in with great stories of doctors that made tons of money and got great new patients on the strength of something we did. So as you look at what are you going to do, testimonials and stories clearly pull the hardest of any kind of content you can generate. And if you want to focus 20% of your time on 80% of the result, focus on finding great testimonials. So that is today's screencast on writing for the web. Keep an eye out for more screencasts, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks a lot.